There is absolutely no fairness where this is concerned. Again, reference my email. You have 3 instructors with master's degrees, yet those same instructors have the least amount of classes to teach. How is this right? I have researched each instructor and their qualifications, as well as their licenses, or lack thereof. To understand HFC's methods, there are cost issues, yes. I do understand that. Yes, Mary, I have 30 minutes.
No, you do not have 30 minutes. You
Do
do
I?
not have 30 minutes. You have 3 minutes, even if the petitioning to have somebody speak
There are
on
also
behalf
real
of a
people
group.
and students who want a future in this field that are
Ms.
being taught
Hasmanis.
by individuals who have no qualifications to do so. How did this go under the radar for so long? I do know the answer to this, rest assured. But I also know that all of you do not. When it came to my figure spelling teacher, immediately I knew that she was not qualified to teach. I was able to obtain her previous work experience, as well as the connection at Baker College,
Ms.
where she
Hasmanis,
attempted to
I'm going
teach
to ask
5
you to
years ago.
please conclude your statement
It was
now.
obvious from my first exchange with my anonymous source that she was not meant to teach in a classroom. And the reasons she was not rehired for the following fall semester were eerily similar to what I was experiencing currently in her classroom. Again, I do have solid proof of this. I then looked up her LinkedIn profile, which proved comical. I won't provide the details. It's easy enough for your staff to obtain. I will offer that, again, I know she got her position at HFC and that she lied about her education, and she is continuing to do so even currently as her profile was recently
Okay,
updated.
thank you very much, Ms. Hasmanis.
The next portion, I needn't bother with research. This part was obvious. The entire ASL program lacks
You need
structure.
somebody to,
This is purely from observation and maturity
Ms.
of my age,
Hasmanis,
I suppose.
I'm going to
Would somebody
ask
like
you-
to come up and continue for me?
They can't come up for you. We
They have
can
a blue
call-
card.
Well, we'll call them off the blue card. I'm just asking, thank you for your comments.
Well, who's the next blue
Yes,
card?
we've got the blue cards.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's at the beginning.
Steve Hasmanis on ASL issues.
Okay. It's at the very beginning.
All right, the next portion, I needn't bother with research. Sorry, let me get my glasses. Needn't bother with research. This part was obvious. The entire ASL lacks structure. This is purely observation. In the maturity of my age, I suppose, each instructor teaches in their own way. None of the classes are cohesive, not even those instructors that have masters. Why is this? Because you don't have to be a qualified person, you don't have to be qualified persons managing this department properly. There are no weekly staff meetings to discuss changes or how to stay aligned within those classes. Students, just like people in general, thrive on stability. HFC is not accommodating this within their program. Unbeknownst to the higher level, it creates chaos, anxiety, and confusion amongst the students. We are expected to attend deaf events, yet who is responsible for coordinating such events? Sadly, it falls on young students at this time. Excuse me. This person didn't ask for such responsibility. It was assumed of this person. And even when the students do attend such events, there is no common meeting place within the event, no set guidelines on how to proceed, what to expect. There's nothing yet the unjust expectation is just there. What follows is that as a student, we have to write a paper on said experience, as well as provide a picture proving attendance. Because we are all dealing with such a young population, and because I have been privy to honest feedback, these papers will offer the exact opposite of a true experience. To obtain a high grade, absolutely. Well, not with my papers. I choose to use my voice and to be loud and clear about the dysfunction and the uncomfortableness, as well as the enormous anxiety it produced. This being because I was required to attend 3 events for 2 classes, and all 3 expected without guidance. HFC is offering this spectacular ASL program, and somehow, as students, we are expected to follow through our education without proper class planning, readily available guidance, nor communication from those who absolutely should be concerned about the welfare of a student. So how can those of us who have drastically changed their lives, I've spoken to one student who even quit their decade-long job to invest in HFC, only to find that chaos was immediately at the forefront and would prohibit a stable future. I am included in this equation, of course, as are all the other students who truly want to become ASL interpreters. Upon completion at HFC, there are several state tests that one must take to move ahead, qualify, hold in the high standards in place to obtain a secure job in this field. Without said test, each of us students cannot possibly have a thriving future, and this does not include monetarily. The cost of these tests are in the hundreds. As a hearing person, one that is most important is the BEI. I will mention that again, the ASL department head does not even have this license. There are three levels to this, all of which are needed if said person truly wants to make a career for oneself. Should I fail even one of these BEI examinations, I will not be able to take the test again for 6 months. Now let's think about that for just a quick moment. If I've paid just 4 years of education at HFC to ensure a future for myself and changed my entire life in the process, mind you, and yet because of one inadequately educated instructors, again, you still have 3 of those with masters that you refuse to utilize because they cost too much. I am doomed to fail because I am simply not getting the education I was supposed to get, although stupidly, I think I have. What if the livelihood of my family depends on a job that required a BEI or an ASLTA or RID or an NIC? I would have to wait 6 months or retake the test and pay the fee again, and all possibly to fail again. From here, as I insinuated in my email, I mentioned about the fall semester student registry for classes and lack thereof. I will admit that I have an entire list of ASL students currently enrolled at HFC, that this includes all contact information for said students. Without taking classes over this summer myself, I will have free time on my hands, and my little car gets great gas mileage. I plan on visiting each and every student to inform them of what has been going on within the ASL department. I wonder then, after my many conversations, how many students will truly be returning in the fall. Of course, again, that is if an internal investigation is not done immediately and things are not rectified within the ASL program. My next part will be quick and yet unnerving to say the least. Upon my research, I conveniently found 2 job postings for an ASL position at HFC. This baffles me, of course. This is about budgetary and monetary gain within this small department. However, your fall student return registration will not look as optimistic as you once hoped to continue down this avenue. And yes, one of the positions was just recently filled, adjunct faculty, part-time hourly. He's no doubt going to thinking about this, it will be secure. I have recently reached out to him as well. He has the right to be informed about his future place of employment. As an outsider, I would most definitely not encourage him to get involved in the chaos that presently exists, as well as to what will ensue should this panel not get things under control.
Are we nearing the end, Mr. Hasmanis, or should we move on to the third blue card?
2 more paragraphs and then the small part here.
All righty. I'll let you conclude.
Okay. I would also like to address a very serious and important aspect of this debacle. In the hearing world, we have undoubtedly ruled the deaf world. The hearing, we are we are at an advantage after all, right? Because of my own experiences with children who do not and have not had a voice, I understand the discrepancies presented in the scholarly setting. I myself have already been in touch with civil rights departments. Should this panel or anyone else affiliated with HFC try to expel me before the summer is over? While I'd like to claim that your staff is not blind to injustice of what I have been exposed, they are not. You have staff with education and credentials behind them that want and need more stable positions, yet this is being refused. Your only full-time position goes to a hearing woman that has no license and has fooled all of you. In life, we all make choices. You all have the choice to make in this moment. Lastly, I will divulge that there are 2 hidden camera devices in this room, and I've been making recordings in this meeting. I did specifically look through the student handbook, and there was no mention of said devices being prohibited. I took this initiative knowing full well what needed to be done and put in public forum to capture this presentation from my perspective. I will also note that I'll plan on posting this video on Facebook before midnight this evening as an advocate for myself and for the other students and anyone else in the HFC dealing with any type of discrepancy. They deserve to know the facts. I will also add that anyone should an internal investigation not get underway immediately to have some sort of resolution. I see that the fall classes are available for students April 22nd. This recorded meeting will discreetly get leaked to the local media, as I do have an inside source. Any questions and concerns will be welcome at a meeting with the president and the board of trustees. Should the board members want to join, of course, they are invited as well. I thank you all for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you.
Mr. Hasmanis,
Yes, sir.
are you a member of the State Bar of Michigan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Your statement mentioned you had devices listening in this room.
Recording.
May I please?
Don't answer. He'll not answer any questions, thank you.
Mr. Hasmanis, there are meetings in this room after this meeting, and they have to be closed. I'm just wondering if you're willing to represent that you'll take the devices you have in this room from. So, may I be sure that none of your listening devices will stay here? Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, next item, please.
Next blue card is from Milena Hasmanis.
I don't.
All right. Final one is from Rachel Bletcher. You're good? All right. That's it for blue cards.
Your nails look great.
Special consideration of an action item. Are there any action items on this agenda which board members or the president wish to discuss and vote on separately? If they are, we will exclude them from the action below.
Yes, Trustee Lane?
I have a question on number 5.
Do you need it polled, or you just want a question?
No, I don't need
Okay.
it pulled.
Anybody else?
I also have a question on number 5.
And on number 5? All right, then. Okay, questions, but no polling.
Move to approve action items number 1 through 8 as recommended in this agenda.
So moved.
All right, then, we have a motion and support. Trustee Moses, since you're new, we'll let you go first.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question. I read through the contract here, and that we're moving from hosting the information in-house to cloud-based by the firm. So I wanted to just make sure that our student information is not
Part of that.
compromised, obviously, or is there student information that's going to be shared on these systems? That's my first question.
May I answer that?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes, please, President Cavallini.
Trustee Moses, I don't know the answer to your question now. If it's something that's necessary, I can have one of the staff address that issue at the podium. If it doesn't affect the proceedings this afternoon, I'm happy to address this with the whole board after I have an opportunity to get more information.
So, just to make sure that we understand the question then, trustee Moses, would you like to know what types of information will be based in the
Sure.
cloud?
Right, yeah. The reason why I ask is I work for a nonprofit and a health provider, and there's also personal health information that we cannot share on the cloud legally. So I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure about the sharing student information or student orders. So I was just curious. It was not an objection.
Okay, all right, thank you. Trustee Lane?
My concern is similar, students and staff as well. My son worked at an agency of the U.S. government where he found out later that his information was discovered. So, I mean, there's been so many hack cases that have involved millions of people. So not only did I want to know that, but also I'd like to know whether this contract indemnifies the college should there be any kind of security breach. So that's my additional question.
But you're still willing to move forward with it at this time?
I'm assuming that we'll
Yes.
get an answer that, I'm assuming that the contract has been looked at and this has been looked into. I know that Ms. Clark is doing that, so my assumption is that President Cavalluna has some information about
right.
this that has reassured him and that the contract has been looked at.
That we will not be jeopardizing
Right,
any
right.
information?
Well, with these types of concerns brought up, I am ordinarily more than willing to give the information requested. That's the partnership we have between the board and the staff. Mr. Sadkowski, is there any harm that will be caused to the college if we revisit this in a month?
There is the timing of getting this going in order to have things available for fall registration and textbook sales during that, for students on financial aid.
I see a hand behind Mr., I can't see the face, so I don't know who's, oh, okay, all right, that was yours.
Mr. Cunningham, do you have substantive answers to these questions? Come on up to the podium, please.
Which one were you referring to?
4508, Board Report 4508.
On the Win Prism cloud-based,
Okay, I was referring to.
software license.
I was referring to the bookstore.
oh, okay.
Well, the WinPrism software is our principal software we use for the bookstore. It really handles the inventory of the books, and so it has nothing to do with the financial transactions of the system.
Or student records or
And
anything like that.
actually, we lock down the credit card payments through that system through a process that's PCI compliant. So it's really handling the inventory of the bookstore. So it shouldn't have that sort of information stored at that site. Now, I don't know about if we're indemnified or not. I haven't seen the contract, but principally that's what the software is used for, is for inventory of the bookstore.
So currently, we're hosting that here at
We
Henry.
host it on campus. The cloud version's probably, the next best thing for that.
Okay, and was there a breakdown of the cost of how much that we're paying for this?
I wasn't involved in that would be more of a purchasing issue.
The decision on that was because it was a custom-grown system, custom-developed system is what it was, and it was completely, say, antiquated, if you will.
Sure.
So this worked in with the Nebraska Book Company and the options for their software for this control, and Joe Zitnik in IT, as well as Brad in the bookstore, did the review of this. Amy reviewed the contract, I reviewed the contract. I can't specifically say, so many contracts we look at, whether or not there's an indemnification clause in there. If there would be any kind of problem with that, we would also have general insurance for any breach associated through our insurance carriers as well. But we'll follow up on the question of whether or not it's specified within the contract. I'm pretty sure it is, but I can't say
Are we ready to move forward?
Well, as a solution. I mean, I'm assuming that there is something in there. So as a proposal, I would suggest that we go ahead and pass it.
Pass it,
And
yes.
then have Mr. Sudkowski, Ms.
Get the
Clark,
follow-up.
And President Cavallina can look at it immediately. If there is some issue, then you wait a day or so, and so I'd be satisfied with that solution.
All right, we have a motion with support. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Okay, please attach a unanimous roll. Next item, please.
Board of Trustees business. Acknowledgement of correspondence.
Just the one email from Ms. Hasmanis, I believe, is,
Next, board and committee reports.
okay.
I have a report that's on the evaluation of the president subcommittee. And in your packets, you have a form for each board member to fill out relative to the president's evaluation. And we would ask that board members have it in by April 30th. That gives you a couple weeks.
Trustee Moses, you may not have one in your packet because you're brand new.
I
Oh, did you?
actually do,
Okay.
and I was going to ask if I need to fill out.
No, yeah, it would be difficult for you to fill something out.
I agree.
What was the date again, please, Dr. Lee?
April 30th was when we would like you to fill these forms out and to return them. And May 8th is when the subcommittee will get together to total and do a summary. And then on May 20th, we would like a closed session after the regular board meeting to meet with the president and to discuss his evaluation. Any questions?
To whom are we submitting the
I
evaluation?
can't hear you.
To whom are we submitting the evaluations, please?
Yeah, we were not too clear on that, but Mr. Berry is willing to receive.
We don't have any other meetings before then. If you can just call me, I'm willing to come by and pick them up.
Did you want them, I don't remember who was on the committee for Dr. Malenko's, but do you want to have some kind of tabulation before?
We're going to just hand tabulate it.
Yeah, when you put your numbers in, we will hand tabulate it as a subcommittee.
There's only a
So the issue
handful of
is,
us.
who do you give them to?
Okay.
Trustee Barry said he would be
Trustee Berry is willing to
the collector.
take on that responsibility. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Any other, we had the policy. Any other committee reports? Right, the next item, please.
Request for information and/or future agenda items.
Yes, Trustee Barry?
I did have somebody reach out to me. They always, over the years, they applied for jobs for the adjunct positions, and they showed me a copy of an email that they always receive, and it says, your resume looks like a match. Then the follow-up email is that, says, I'll just read it. Thank you for your interest in the adjunct faculty pre-education position with Henry Ford College. During our hiring process, we carefully review every resume submitted for an advertised opening. Due to the volume of applications we receive, we are unable to personally respond to every applicant regarding the status of the application. I don't have to finish it. I was looking at this report, and it says that we have over 1,000 applicants for 81 positions. Now I understand why we don't reply to everybody. But I guess the question would be, and I know Lynn Bose is here, is there somebody that they can contact for some feedback, especially when they get some good news, like, hey, your resume is a good match, then
And then the
3 or 4
next
years later,
follow-up.
they're still
yeah.
not getting any of the positions.
Is
And it doesn't have to be tonight,
Yeah. So you want to know
Yeah.
for future reference,
Some kind of-
how,
they can get
if
feedback.
there's
or-
another,
Another part of the process,
possibly something that we might want to add somewhere in the process.
Sure.
If somebody wanted future.
I don't know if it's Lynn, I don't know if it's HR, I guess that's my
Yeah,
question. Who would they
okay.
call back? Who would they contact?
All right, then.
We'll talk about that tomorrow with HR. I've got to be.
Please, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And are there any other? Okay, I just wanted to let everybody know that I will be making some adjustments to the committee organization chart because we now have added on and switched some positions here, so some things will change. Not everything will change. Most will remain the same. I'm going to try to keep it as consistent as possible, but just be looking in your mail for the new committees makeups within a day or two. Thank you.
Next, board member commentary.
Yes, Trustee
I would
McDowell.
just like to officially welcome Trustee Moses to the board and looking forward to working with you. If there's any way that I can assist you in anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Sure.
And my advice to Trustee Moses is very simple. We as individuals have absolutely no authority. We as a board have all the power. And to remember and be mindful whenever you're speaking in public that you represent the board, but that you have no individual authority to, when people start to approach you. I know it's tough when you're a brand-new board member. People tend to think that they can come to you with all of their ideas, their problems, their issues, and want you to wave that magic wand. And just remember, the only power is when we're seated here and our vote is our voice. Thank you. Yes, Trustee Lane.
I would just like to remind everyone that April 22nd is Earth Day, and we should try to make a point to make it a bigger holiday and celebrate it by doing something sustainable. And then also, I'd like to note to all of the college community that I was in a couple of interviews today, as were a couple of other board trustees. With the superintendent, we were being interviewed, everyone was being interviewed by Bridge Magazine on the collegiate academies. And I think that from what I heard in the interviews that I was in, it was absolutely glowing about the college's role interfacing with the P12. So I'd like everyone to know that I think that article, if it represents what I saw and what I heard in those meetings, the students, the staff, Dr. Maleko, I assume, but I know from myself, the compliments that were coming for the college were really nice, and I hope that that'll get a lot of statewide coverage.
And what we heard at the end of that process was that actually was great praise for the students who sat in to represent, and the relationship that they had with the college as well. So I know that the message that we are attempting to send, not only just in our immediate community, but throughout the state and nationwide, is that the model that we are exhibiting here with a P14 system can really work and push many students into a successful career path if they take advantage of it. Next, please.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Before we meet again, we will be going through the commencement process. So congratulations to all of our upcoming graduates. We have appreciated having them here on campus during their time, and we look forward to hearing great things from them, and we hope they don't forget that this was a part of their educational journey.
And Trustee Moses?
Well, I'd like to thank all of you for entrusting me with this honor. I'm very excited to be part of this team, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you and with the administration to making sure that our students are successful here at the college. As I mentioned before, I've taken some courses here at the college, and I was very pleased of the professors and staff here. And I look forward to working with you on all of the items that we have before us. So thank you once again, and I'm really excited to be here, and I'd like to thank my family for coming out and being in support with me today. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And I would just like to say, I know at last week's meeting, it got a little excited at the end of the meeting, so I'd like to just once again thank all the other candidates who participated in the appointment process. We had 9 other individuals, and they were all great individuals to represent the community, but only one can be seated, and that is how it turned out. So, but I'd like to thank them for participating. It's never easy to put yourself out there. So we really appreciate it. All right, next item, please.
Future meeting dates, Monday, May 13th, 2019, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Services Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, May 20, 2019, HFC Regular Board of Trustees meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Services and Conference Center in the Rosenau Boardroom.
We are adjourned.
Either way is fine.
And I don't know how we should.